Okay, so now that we've got some characters together, this would be an appropriate time to go over how to read the stat card for a character. Okay, so we're going to look at Alessa Rain Cross here. I already kind of went over how you're going to look at the organization of the character and the character's faction. But now we need to understand the rest of these symbols, these numeric stats on the card. So, again, organization, faction, the name of the character, and then the type of character. Let me bring this in close a little bit so you can see. You can see Alessa Rain Cross is a prowler. And there are three basic types of characters, actually, not including leader. There are three basic types of characters in this game. So you have prowlers, you may have, say, a warrior, you can also have mystics. I don't think I'm playing with any mystics in this particular game. And then you may have some characters that are kind of hybrid characters. So for example, Damien here is a warrior prowler, so he can have upgrades that apply to warriors and effects that apply to warriors, as well as upgrades and effects that apply to prowlers. Okay, so here's Alessa, and we're going to go down this row here and talk about the stats. So this first stat here on the very top is the character's attack stat. This is basically the value that they're going to be adding to their attack roll in order to determine a successful hit. These are typically, the attack values are typically between 4 and 6. There are a few that are a little bit higher. So 4 is kind of on the lower end here for attack. This next one down is the damage number. This is the amount of damage, the starting damage that the model will inflict when it successfully hits on an attack. And we'll go over how to calculate damage when we get to that part. However, it's good to note that you're starting off with a damage of 4. I noticed that the damage stat can vary somewhat wildly in this game. 4 is on kind of the low-medium end of things. So anyway, if you've got anything higher than 3, you're doing okay. Anything 3 or less, you're kind of hitting like a wet fish. Anything more than 5 or 6, and your character is hitting like a Mack truck. Okay, the next one down is defense, and it's got the little circle with the other circle on it. And you can see that her defense is 9. Now, in Anima Tactics, this defense is either going to be the static total that the attacking player has to tie or beat in order to successfully cause damage. However, there is the dodge mechanic, which means that you can actually force this much higher than 9 when you're adding a d10 roll to it. And an important thing to note here, most character defenses are anywhere between 8 and, say, 10. And most attacks are anywhere between 4 and 6. So you notice there's a little bit of a gap there, at least at the starting numbers, which makes dodges super important. Because you can see if this were an attack 4 character hitting a defense 9 character, and that defense 9 character decides to dodge, well, that's a lot to hit that character. Whereas if the character doesn't dodge, the attack 4 character is going to be able to hit on a score of 5 or more. Okay, so that's defense. This next number here is armor. This is the number of damage that is subtracted before life points are taken away from the model. In this case, this model does not have any armor. Then you've got the life points of the model. This is, let's go back to armor here for a sec. Typical armor values are anywhere between 0 and they can go up to like 5. For the most part, though, if you're talking about armor 2 or more, that's pretty good on a character. But a lot of characters are like rocking close to 4 or 5, especially Empire. Life points here, that's basically the number of hits or the number of damage that the character can sustain before it is killed or removed from play. Then this little swirly here corresponds to the resistance of the character. Oh, jeez, I keep doing it. Okay. Anyway, back to life points for a sec. Most life points in this game hover between 10 and, say, the low 20s. On the super high level characters might be like 22, 24 life points. This is fairly low. 10 is fairly low. A lot of support characters, a lot of like stealthy, squishy characters are rocking like 10 life points. This other 10 is for resistance, and resistance is used for resisting spell effects, resisting additional effects. And you'll see things on the cards like Effect 14, for example. If you're trying to beat Effect 14, then this is the number that you're going to be adding to the D10 roll to try to beat that 14. In other words, Alessa would need a 5 or more on a D10 to go up to 15, and therefore beat the resist 14 that would be required. Finally, you have this split number here at the bottom, 812, and this is for the move/charge run of the model. And this is in inches. So, to take a walk action with Alessa means you go 8 inches. To take a run or charge action with Alessa means you go 12 inches. Now, typically this stat 812 is about average for most of these characters. You'll see some slow, clunkier models moving 610. And then you'll see super fast characters that can go anywhere like 12, 16, or even greater. So note, in Anima Tactics, the models move pretty quick. A lot of other skirmish games at this scale, models are typically only moving anywhere between 4 and 6 inches per movement action. But in Anima, characters are pretty fast. Let's look at the rest of the card now. So now that we know those stats, sorry, a lot of glare here. This line here, level of the character, again, that gets factored in when you're building the party. And this row here of 4 dots, this is actually the character's action points. And those are typically tracked using those blue chips that come with all the Anima models. Let me break out some blue chips here so that we can see. Sorry, I had my head turned. Yeah, my audio goes out. I apologize for that. So anyways, using our example, Alessa Raincross has a bar of 4 circles. Okay? And within those circles, you can see that 3 of them are in fact blue. Ooh. And then one's white. What that means is this. Alessa can have a maximum of 4 available action points on her at any time. And I'll use those blue chips for that. However, at the end of each round, jeebus, focus. At the end of each round, she's going to recover 3. Now, a model starts a game with the number of AP equal to the number of blue dots plus 1. So Alessa, in this case, will begin with 4 AP to start the game. And as she starts to do things during her turn, she'll have to manage these AP. The reason why this is only 3 as recovery, because there are going to be some turns where she does extra attacks or a special move or something like that, and she uses all 4 of her AP. Well, the next turn she's going to pay for it because she's only going to gain back 3. So there is that AP management part of the game to be very aware of. It's one of the key parts to the game, actually, is managing AP and learning how to strip AP off your opponent. So, AP, levels, and then down here you've got the abilities. Now you have some things that are innate abilities on a model. Let's see if I can actually get some focus here. Sorry about that. Oh, come on. You can do it, camera. You can do it. There we go. Okay, so you can see some innate abilities here. These are abilities that are always in effect. So, Alessa comes with a ranged attack at 16 inches, and then she can also have 2 advantage cards instead of 1. Because a lot of Wissenschaft characters can do that. It's kind of cool. And then down here, you've got the basic abilities the special abilities of a model. These don't include the basic abilities, sorry. These are the model special moves, and the number of action points required to do them. You may see some abilities here that have an upkeep available for them. We'll go over that when we get into the game. Basically, what that means is the character can continue to spend that number of AP to upkeep this ability, minus the restrictions imposed upon it. So, for example, stealth here is one of the things that Alessa has as one of her special abilities. She can, with it being an upkeep ability, you can actually begin the game with her having stealth affected. So she can begin the game by paying the upkeep, which is only 1 AP, and already have stealth in place. However, when she makes an attack from stealth, she's going to lose stealth. In which case, after that, the following turn, if she wanted to go back to stealth, she can't just pay the 1 upkeep. She would have to pay the 2 AP there. So that's the basics of the card. This is the special abilities down here, the number of action points it requires, the innate abilities, the AP counter, the levels, and then all your stats down this way. So that's going to conclude it for this section of the series. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.